The 5th of January is a very special day for us who are disciples of a great avatar, Yogananda. Today, Yogananda was born, but for many of us, Yogananda was born a few years ago in our hearts. When, thanks to a present by a friend, I received the autobiography of a yogi, I was already looking for something, maybe in health care or homeopathy or exoterism, but I have to be sincere. I wasn't so interested in those things, beautiful, interesting things, but they were not the search I was looking for. When they gave me a autobiography of a yogi, I immediately started reading it, and I started feeling something. The heart was beating strongly. I read it all at once, and then I read it again and again and again and again. And while I was reading it again and again, I felt that something was happening, that magnetism of Yogananda and all the magnetism of all the saints mentioned in that book opened a door in my heart. When I finished the book and I read the last words, I thanked God from the heart, because I felt already part of that family. I didn't know anybody from that family, just Yogananda. And I was there, together, with his relatives. So then I had to find someone who belonged to that family. So I looked, I searched, and after a very short time, I prayed Yogananda, and after a short time, someone gave me the number. No, sorry, we didn't have cell phones at the times. A direct disciple of Yogananda, they told me, is creating a center near Assisi. Oh Lord, I didn't believe it. At the time, we didn't have all the phone companies we have today. There was just a landline. And it was not so easy to get in touch with these people near Assisi. This friend of mine helped me to look in the book where all the phone numbers were, and eventually she found it. The Center of World Brotherhood. I called them and they said, yes, we are the disciples of Yogananda. As soon as I heard that, yes, I felt that I immediately had to go there. The day after, I took my car and I came here. And spending time with these people, some are here now, I cannot explain. Sharing the teachings of such a great master as Yogananda was incredible. Simply looking at them, seeing how they meditated. At the beginning, we used to meditate in the small bungalow before the gazebo. That was our first temple. Part of it was dedicated to coats and shoes, and very few people were able to sit in there. But I remember one Christmas, it was so full. We had 3 levels, like a sandwich. But there was so much joy, so much love. It was so beautiful to chant together for Christmas and celebrating all the festivities. The heating was broken at the time, and it was cold. We had snow. I remember I had a stove with a gas stove, and I had 2 possibilities. Take it shut it down with closed windows or turn it on and keep my windows open. So we didn't have much of a choice. So we decided to keep the doors closed, the windows closed and no stove on because of the gas. But I have to say there was so much warmth. It was so special. And that gave me such a strong feeling of belonging to this path, to this family, that I don't have enough words to describe this incredible experience. Years passed, and I always wondered, what can I do for Yogananda? At the time, I used to live in Mestre, in the north of Italy, and I used to come and go from here. I had a small group of people there who came to my house meditating weekly. We meditated 1 hour, 1 hour and a half. And then we had dinner together. We had some satsang together with other among disciples, and it was beautiful. One day, something happened. One of the disciples said, "Oh, it's so difficult to live the experience of a guru without having the guru in the body before me. I need someone in the body." Some people spoke to me about Sai Baba, and I want to go there. So he went and visited Sai Baba. After a while, great Master Sai Baba, I have nothing against. I don't want to make comparisons. A little later, another person did the same. This person wanted to have a guru in the flesh and heard that Sai Baba was doing many miracles. So this person left as well. And we were about 7-8 people. And there were some rumors about this topic of having a master in the flesh. Within me, I wondered, what is happening? Is it better to have a master in the flesh? Is it so important? But anyway, a very tiny doubt entered in me that very night during sleep. A car came to my house. I was dreaming, of course. They ring the bell. It was Sai Baba. It was a dream, of course. What do? Do I answer the door or not? Do I open the door or not? I opened the door and I said, "Good morning, great master, can I help you in anything?" He said, "Yes, come, I want to take you around with my car." Okay. So I went down, I went in the car, he had the driver, so I sat behind with him, he took me by hand and looked at me in my eyes. I didn't have a lot of courage to hold that gaze. He took me to a place where there was a huge tent. I don't know if it was a house or a tent, but it was all decorated with many, many fabrics, many veils. And they looked like the veils of my heart, I have to say. He took me by hand, he took me inside, and he told me, "Now you will meet your master." And I felt someone hugging me from behind. I turned, and it was Yogananda. And he told me, "I'm always yours. I have always been yours, and I will be yours always." So I never had doubts from that moment on. I always felt his presence so strongly, so intensely, and I don't have words to explain it more clearly. So, if you offer your heart to your Master, for in every moment of your life, He will be with you, especially when you lose your center. But He will whisper. He won't speak out loud. So, to be able to hear the Master, you have to switch off the mind. Be calm, and you will be able to hear your Master's voice. I want to share a beautiful story by Yogananda. It happened when he came back from India. He went back to America, and he brought presents for everybody, for every disciple. Every disciple had a present, so he came back with hundreds of them. At a certain point, he started distributing, it was Christmas Day, he started giving these presents. And he gave a small parcel, a small present to a person called Mr. Dickinson. This man opened the little box he received, and inside there was a small silver cup. So he sat and he started closing his eyes. He wasn't even able to say thank you to Yogananda. So he sat and went into deep interiorization. The day after, Master went to him and said, "What happened yesterday? I saw you were very silent during Christmas festivity when you received my gift." And he said, "Yes, Master. When you gave me that parcel, something special happened. And I want to share it. When I was 5, I was playing with my brother in Nebraska, and my brother pushed me in a small lake, and I almost drowned. In that very moment, I tried to swim, but I wasn't able to. So I went up above the water, and then I went down. When I was underwater, a great light manifested in this lake, and it was so bright, multicolor, beautiful. I saw a person there, very sweet, with wonderful eyes, who took me by hand and took me out of the water. Years passed. After 11 years, from that moment, when I was saved by this luminous person, I was in Chicago with my mother. On the road, on the street, I saw flashes, lightnings, and again I saw the same light I saw 11 years before. And I told my mother, "That is the person, Mother, that is the person who saved me 11 years ago. It's the person I saw in the lake." So he started running after that person. They entered a great theater, and that person was giving a talk. It was Swami Vivekananda. This Mr. Dickinson went to him and asked, "I saw you 11 years ago when you saved me. Are you my master? Are you my guru?" And he said, "No, it's not me. I'm sorry. Your master, your guru will come one day and will give you a silver cup. And you will receive from him so many blessings, much more than what you can understand now. Go and you will see it will happen." A few years later, a few days later, he saw an advertisement about a conference of Master. After 43 years, Mr. Dickinson thought that silver cup would never come. Maybe it was symbolic. Maybe the silver cup are the teachings of a master. But when he physically received that silver cup, he understood of how we are all subtly bound in a subtle world. 43 years before, the masters already knew what was going to happen. So this story made me think a lot. If this happened 43 years before, did Yogananda know it was coming? And the answer was yes. Yogananda, I believe, knew of each of us, knows about each of us who are here. He knows. We were going to come to this temple, and he is waiting for us. He can wait for 50, 60, 100 years. He knows that he gave us a light to bring. He cannot bring that light in the world anymore. We are his light in the world. Today we have a nice sun enlightening this temple. Yogananda has us. And so it's our task to bring that light in the world. Through us, Yogananda can express himself. He can spread all the teachings everywhere. So we are blessed, much more than we think. Yogananda lived not long ago, very few years ago. He died in 1952. And we had a direct disciple of Yogananda who helped us to meet him, to know him. It is as if we went to St. Peter, listening to the real teachings of Jesus Christ. It's absolutely the same thing. Think of the great blessings we received in our lives, meeting a direct disciple of an avatar. We cannot describe this blessing. In our minds, we always try to diminish ourselves. We tell ourselves we are not up to it, we don't deserve it, something. But Yogananda gave us the most precious thing, all his love. Now it's our task to spread it. Yesterday some of you received a Kriya for the first time. That is a tool for Yogananda's love. Many of you are Kriyabans, many will be Kriyabans. The important thing is that this love is here now and will be here forever. A disciple brought to his master a beautiful pearls, 2 pearls. That master received the 2 pearls, and then one of them slipped from his hand and fell in the river. And the disciple said, "Oh, master, I have to find it." He dived in the river and tried to look for it. He came up to breathe, and then he went again underwater to look for that pearl. And the master was very calm. He closed his eyes and started meditating. At night, the disciple went to the master, and he didn't find the pearl. And he said, Master, do you remember where the pearl fell? And the master took the second pearl and threw it in the water and said, right there. So he already had the pearls. He needed a huge pearl. So never give too much attention to small things. This is what happens every day if we tell Master, if we share with Master about what we think our pearls are. Our Master will throw these pearls in the water. I want to share another story. A disciple goes to the Master and says, Master, when will I receive enlightenment? And the Master answers, 10 years, in 10 years. Oh, master, isn't it too long? And the master answers, thinking more correctly, it is in 20 years. But master, you doubled it. And the master says, now that I think it more carefully, it is 30 years. So it is the trust that we have to give to the master. So if we don't have trust, time becomes longer and longer. A master wants to take us home in the light we heard about in our reading of today. So our faith, our trust needs to be completely in the master. That is the key that will open the heavens door. And we need to have that in every moment of our lives, not only when we need the master, but also in daily life. It's very important. Let's remember of it every day. Everything we do behind us, we have to perceive that presence. And everything will become so special, so blessed, so sacred, uplifting. You don't need to speak a lot of spirituality. The way we live our lives will speak for us more than every word we can say. I want to share another story which you probably already know, but it's really nice. A jeweler was sitting in his shop and he was observing the windows of his shop. And he saw a young girl facing in, looking in. This little girl had her eyes full of light. She entered the jewelry very quickly and said, I want that necklace, the light blue one. She was about 5-6 years. And the man said, why do you want the blue one? And she said, today it is the birthday of my sister. We lost our mother. She works so hard, and she became my mother for me and my little brother. Today it's her birthday. I really want to give her this beautiful necklace. And the jeweler said, how much money do you have? She took out a small box from the pocket. She put a few coins, maybe a few euros, 5-10 euros, a conch, and a picture. Are these enough? Is this enough? So he said, wait for a moment. He went in the back part, he prepared a nice parcel, and he gave the necklace to her. Here it is, bring it to your sister. She left the shop, very happy. After 1 hour, the jeweler saw a beautiful girl with red hair, about 25, with beautiful blue eyes, just like the necklace. She went back there, she put it there and said, is this yours? Did you sell it? He said, yes, it's mine. I sold it to the girl who bought it. She said, but my sister brought it and she said it was my birthday present. But she didn't have enough money to buy this. How much did she pay for it? I'm sorry, the price is confidential. It was between me and the customer. I cannot share. I cannot say it. It's confidential. And the girl said, but she didn't have enough money, I'm sure. And the jeweler started packing the necklace again. And he said, your sister paid it with everything she had. Today, it is our Guru's birthday. What present do we want to give to our Guru? I think I don't want your answer. I think each of us can give an answer. I want just to suggest you something. The Guru loves just to have our love until he doesn't receive it. We won't be happy. It's just a suggestion. So I wish you a happy Master's birthday. I wish you that he can be born today in your heart and in every moment of your life. May Master bless you.